at Southside High School, and I'm going to let these two gentlemen introduce themselves at this time.
I'm Miles Holcomb, head football coach here at Southside. I'm Justin Bowen. I'm the defensive coordinator here at Southside High School.
Now, anyone that's familiar with Average Joe's knows who these two gentlemen are. We've done one-on-ones with each. They're both new coaches here at Southside. We'll start with you, Coach. This offseason, you and I sat down for the first time. We talked about how you got the job and how many people applied for the job. I think at one time it was up to 65 people. Well, we're looking at two guys that's in the top three, which is remarkable for Southside High School to have these two guys here now working for one cause. How important was it that you got this guy to your left on the staff with you here?
It was the most important thing that we've done. Like with that, like when you talk about building a culture, when you talk about a complete culture change in general, we couldn't do it if we wouldn't have got him. And I think he knows that. I mean, I know it. I mean, I knew it from day one. You know, the only hesitation, I think I waited like 2 days. I got named, and like 2 days later, like I went home and I was talking to my wife, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna reach out to Coach Bowen. And she's like, yeah, I think it'd be awesome, you know. And so I bounced a lot of stuff off her anyways. And then we had a conversation. We talked for probably an hour. And, like, it was weird. It worked out the way – the good Lord works in some crazy ways now. They were in a rain delay. Like, they had a baseball game that day. They're in a rain delay. And, like, he's, like, in some, like, weird hallway or stairwell. And we're having this conversation, you know. And we're talking about the possibilities. And as soon as we got off the phone, like, I reached out to Miss Tucker. And I was like, hey, I just got off the phone with Coach Bowen. And her reply was, Justin Bowen? ? Oxford? ? And I was like, yes, ma'am. She's like, for real? And I was like, yes, ma'am. She's like, you think that could happen? And I was like, I feel pretty good about it. But just the fact that he's got that ability, and I hope he knows that I have 100% trust in what he does. You know, it had nothing to do with X's and O's. Like, you can bring anybody in here and scheme people up. Like, it has nothing to do about that. Just who he is as a person, the connection he has with kids, which is what we're all about. Like we talk about our vision for our team is to be grateful, relentless, and united. Well, he is the embodiment of all of those things. And so being able to get him on here to help build and to cultivate one side of the football was of the utmost importance when I got here.
When you got that call from Coach in the rain delay, hanging out with Trey Higgins or whoever, but when that call come down, what was going through your mind?
Well, I think the first time that we talked was I think we were having baseball practice. That's right. That's what it was.
But we did end up talking another time during like a delay or something like that, where we had a big span of time. But it was really awesome. Me and my wife had talked, like I said in the last video, about the situation and about once I didn't get the job, I still knew, because I kind of knew the how everything was laying out here, they still needed a defense coordinator. So I knew that was still a possibility, and I'm just blessed that that God left that door open for me, and He wanted me at Southside, whether it was the head coach or defensive coordinator. But it was really special, because it's something especially the last year I've really been looking into and wanting to do to kind of further my career and to grow as a person and grow as a coach. And for him to give me that opportunity has just been awesome.
We'll start right back here with you. When you got here and you got your hands on the guys, what were your initial thoughts of what you had?
So this school reminds me a lot of where I went to school, which is Alexandria. You've got a lot of kids that play multiple sports, and I love being around that type of athlete because they're in it for the whole school. They've got a lot of pride in not just Southside football, but Southside High School in general. And so being around these kids the first time, you could tell they were really intense. I think the first time we sat and I talked to the whole team and talked to the whole defense, I just kind of laid it out there for what I wanted to do and, how I was going to run things here. And you could tell, they were starving for somebody to come in and just really pour into them. Not that they hadn't had that before, but, they've had transition 2 or 3 years in a row. And so, I know there was a lot of, worry about, okay, who's the next guy going to be? Who are the next guys? How are they going to run things? And so I think once we got here and kind of laid out what we want to do, that it created a lot of excitement, amongst not just the defense, but the offense and the whole team in general.
Same kind of question to you. When you got your hands on the offensive side of the ball, when you seen Gage and some of these guys in Maddox, what was your initial thoughts?
That we were physical and we were more athletic than people had kind of let on initially. I know how good the class was last year. Like I heard that from everybody that I talked to. Talked about, hey, we're losing this guy, and when you look at, we had multiple All-State players off that offense that we lost. We had a quarterback who, is going to Murray State. Like, you talk about a really good player, losing a really good player. Typically, most people think, well, you're going to take a step back. And I think what these guys have done a really good job of is playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Like, we've got something to prove. Like, hey, yeah, we know that class was good. All right, but just put the ball down and let us play. All right, judge us for us. Don't judge us for nobody else. Judge us for us. Just put the ball down and let us play. And so for us offensively, I thought we were way more physical up front than, I might have been led to believe. I think we're pretty athletic on the perimeter, and I think we're more athletic than people are going to give us credit for, So super pleased is an understatement.
How on track do you think you guys are at this point, getting in your offense? And I know that's something that's not going to come overnight, but you believe you're on pace where you need to be at this point?
I think there's always a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of anxiety, from offensive guys of getting in enough or getting in as much as you want to, simply because, there's a lot. We could put a lot in, making guys adjust. But for us, where we are right now, I think we're in a good place. Our scheme could change based off of who we're going to see that week and what we're going against, the front we're going against, or the secondary, the coverage we're going against. And so right now, the base understanding that our guys have is pretty good, considering the weather that we've had this summer and the lack of ability of getting out on the field and kind of getting stuff in as much as we need to. So I'm pleased with where we are right now.
Same kind of question to you, and just looking at it from the outside looking in, when you got your hands on them to right now, do you feel that you're on pace to where they need to be?
Yeah, the same thing he said when I got here, it's kind of the same thing. I feel like we're a lot bigger and a lot more physical than people were going to give us the credit for. And so once I got here, some of the things I wanted to do kind of shifted a little bit once I saw the guys and saw, hey, this is the type of thing we probably need to have on defense, or we're going to have. And that kind of changes your scheme some on defense. You got to adjust to what you have and, what's going to make you the most successful. But to this point, I feel pretty good. I feel like we've got most of our stuff in. Now we've got to really fine-tune the details of, hey, this is exactly how we want it done, and like we want to coach the kid every single play. And so if a guy's not doing it, if he's first starting out with a lineman, if he's not lined up right, if his stance is not right, those are the little things. We got him in the right spot, but now we're fine-tuning the details of, hey, like I said, this is how we want it played. This is how it needs to look.
Coach, I want to talk to you about something that I noticed when I was out in the field. This didn't cross my mind until I was out there earlier and looked. I think your oldest coach maybe about 42 or 3 on the staff.
Yes, sir.
How unbelievable is that? First of all, mostly, especially in Alabama and in these smaller towns like we live in, that you don't have that guy that's been here on staff for 25 years.
Yeah.
But, we're talking early 40s, but a lot of experience. How important is that?
Oh, it's incredibly important. We talk all the time. Like, we don't, and we talked about this last night. Like, on Friday, like our job as coaches is to prepare our kids from Sunday to Thursday. And then Friday, it's just about us putting them in situations to be successful and then letting them go out execute people on Friday. Like, I ain't gonna out-coach anybody on Friday night. Like, I don't even want to out-coach people on Friday night. I just want our kids to be prepared enough where we can out-execute those guys. And when you got a staff like we got that's young, energetic, like they once again, like, we have something to prove too. Kind of like we talked about before. I had a chance to be around an incredible amount of coaches. Same thing for Coach Bowen. He's had a chance to be around some incredible coaches. And so for the young guys that we got on our staff, like, whenever they decide to leave or whenever they get a better opportunity or whatever suits them or is better for their family, like, I want to be the guy when they leave, they're like, hey, I had a chance to be around that guy. Like, give them that opportunity and just let them coach. I think as a leader, it's your job to just kind of like give them the tools to be successful, and then get out of the way and then let them do their job. And if they got a question, they'll come to you and ask, you know. But as a leader, like it's my job to like serve the other guys, and, like give them those opportunities to teach and coach and be successful, and really just like I was, kind of figure it out as you go. And then you have those mentor guys that be like, hey, you need to do this, like you need to work it this way, or think about it like that. And so to have a young group of guys that, one, we can just enjoy being around each other and talking and sitting in the office and talking ball and learning from each other. Like, you can't put a price tag on that.
Between Josh and Keith, that's what, 12 state championships.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Now, I'm going to put you on the spot right here, brother.
Okay.
How intense does it get when y'all come together? And it's ones versus ones practice.
You know, that's one of the things that I told him. Look, when I first got here, I said, look, I think what made us so good where I was at is the amount of time that we spent going one-on-ones. And I think that he's done that in the past where he's been. And I think the better teams, when you can do that as much as you can, especially in a school like this where you're not going to have necessarily the depth to get a scout team necessarily that you want, you've got to go one-on-one as much as you can to get a really good look. And, you know, I think that we've done a really good job as coaches and as players, as when the whistle blows and we start a play, they are getting after it. I mean, it's you know, like game-like as much as it could be. But when the whistle blows and then we step off the field, you know, we're mixing it up and we're buddies again. And that's the biggest thing, is you just don't want to create a divide between those two sides. And, you know, the thing I'm looking forward most to is all of us wearing the same color, and you know what I mean, and being on the same side, because we didn't do a spring game, we hadn't played against anybody else. So even when we do an OTA on Monday, I'm excited just to see how we mesh together as a whole team.
Two things I'm gonna throw before I ask you the next question. One, wait till you see the players' response. It almost echoes everything y'all just said.
Yeah,
it almost echoes everything, which is fantastic, which means everybody's on the same page. And two, I enjoyed watching spring scrimmage because it looked like you two guys were like going at it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like intense, and I love that.
Yeah.
Now, this is going to be the last questions for each one of you, but it's going to be the same question. You have to have blank to be successful this year. In other words, this is something that your defense has to do to be successful this year.
I think I know there's a lot of things, you know, that's a tough question. That's a really good question.
It could be multiple.
You know, we've got some core values like on defense. Now, we have core values as a team, but there's some things that I talk about with our defense every single day: toughness, effort, attitude, and mentality. And if we have those four things, you know, those are things that are controllables, you know. And I think, you know, to answer that question, we have to be the best in the country at the controllables, the things that we can control, not the football things, the things that get into the football. Lining up right, having a good stance, you know, those controllable things, and being the best that we can possibly be at those are going to put us in the, you know, the good spot to be successful. And so being the best at the controllables, I guess, would answer that question.
For us, I mean, it's pretty, for me, I think it's pretty simple. Like, we just have to focus on being us. I ain't worried about anybody else. And like, I think more than anything, I want our kids to understand that I don't care who we line up and play on Friday. It does not matter to me. If we're just the best us, we're going to give ourselves an opportunity. Like, I ain't worried about nobody else. I ain't worried about what front they're playing. I ain't worried about what coverage they're playing. I ain't worried about how many stars this guy over here's got. Like, our guys, we've got enough talent. And they've heard for long enough, like, you can't do it there. You can't win that one. Like, well, let me tell you something. Yeah, we can. And we're going to. And we ain't got to worry about nobody else. We just got to focus on us. And that's all we have to do. Just focus on us and be the best us, because we ain't trying to compare ourselves to nobody else. Like, wake up, find a way to be your best that day, and understand that it's not going to be good enough tomorrow, and then change your best the next day. And that's all we have to do.
Stay dialed in. Be the best you. I like it. Guys, I appreciate you. You guys had pretty long practice, and I know you probably got more meetings to go to, and we're going to get this video out ASAP. And thanks, Kia, for sponsoring this Rainbow City Action for the whole season. They're sponsoring your whole season this year. So
that's awesome. Appreciate what you guys do. Appreciate it. Yeah, for sure. Thank you, guys.
All right, we are here at Southside High School, and I'm going to let these gentlemen introduce themselves at this time.
Damon Hitchcock, senior wide receiver. Maddox Parsons, senior running back. Spencer Sharp, outside linebacker, senior.
Taylor Carr, senior DB.
All right, let's start right back over here. This year obviously looks a lot different than last year. Last year we didn't know if we was going to have the season at this point. It was up in the air. We thought we were, but we wasn't 100% sure. And also the protocol, the COVID, taking temperatures, couldn't have so many in the building. We had to be 6 feet apart, cleaning. How much different has this looked for you guys personally?
It's been a lot better. We've been able to be all together at once instead of being separated, and it just allows us to bring the team together more.
Absolutely.
Kind of just what he said. Like last year, it just felt like we never had a good bond with each other because we were always separated and stuff.
No doubt.
Our chemistry's way up this year because we're not separated as much. We all get to be together. We're separated at practice, but we still get to be together in the locker room more this year. So.
Yeah, I feel like we're more together as a team and do more stuff together as a team than we did last year. So.
Now, you guys had a successful season. We'll start right back over here. Actually shocked a lot of people. During a coaching change, you don't expect what you guys did last year. It's just not. Normally, that don't happen. There's usually growing pains, but you guys had a very successful season. Unfortunately, or fortunately, you're going through another coaching change. You have a new, very energetic coach that has a great mindset with a big-time pedigree where he's been. What's that coaching change been like for you guys personally so far?
I think as a whole team, we pretty much love Coach Holcomb. He's done everything to make us successful. And Coach Bowen, when he came for defense, everyone fell in love with him. So I feel like it was a good change, and I feel like it was for the better of us.
It's not ideal to have a coaching change going into your senior year, obviously, because you got used to something last year. But I think we're getting used to it this year pretty quick, and the programs and stuff he's putting us through, to fit us way better than what we were doing last year. So I think we're gonna be real successful.
Yeah, I think same thing as him. I feel like this year's easier to for the changes and stuff from last year. Last year's changes. And I feel like we get all of our relationships with these coaches are a lot better than what they were last year. I feel like we're bonding more with these coaches and stuff.
On your point, man, I've noticed. I think Coach Scoop is the oldest coach out there, and he's only in his early 40s. Mm-hmm. It's kind of unheard of.
Yeah, it's been real good. He came in and brought really good energy because there was 3 coaches in 3 years, so it's something new, but he's bringing us together, bringing a good program for us this year.
Talk about what a practice looks like for you guys, a normal spring practice. Not necessarily OTAs or anything like that over the summer, but a spring practice for fans. Now, what does that look like?
Really high tempo. Getting after, just like you're going to play in the game, just getting ready for game ready. Yeah, it's really high tempo. We're always moving and stuff. There's no walking anything, and it's just it's period after period after period, and we're just always moving and moving and moving.
Yeah, it's just really fast up tempo. It kind of feels like what you think of their college practice. It's just very up tempo, and you have multiple periods, and they're not very long. So you're doing different stuff every 10 minutes, and just
keep your focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very high energy. You got offense on one side, you got defense on one side, and when we come together, it's best on best.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, we've got 2 offensive players and 2 defensive players in there.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with the defensive guys first of all. Coach Bowen specifically, what has he been like for you guys, you individually? And we'll start right here.
I feel like he's done everything he can for us. He wants us to be very coachable, which everyone here is very coachable. So I feel like he's put us in a very successful spot to succeed.
Yeah, he's got a lot of his heart into it already. I can tell. He's only been here for a few months now, but he's really invested in all of us, personally, not just as a player. And so, he's just very relatable. I feel like I can talk to him about anything, off the field too.
No doubt. So. That's huge. Now, offensively, you guys, Coach Holcomb's another high energy guy. He's hands-on everything offensively. What's it been like you individually with Coach Holcomb?
Just good relationships. He knows how to start a good relationship with everybody, and he's very committed to what he does. He's even stayed here a few times. Stayed the night here a few times. He's just very committed. It makes us feel like we got to be the same committed as him, and so it's a good bond.
That's legit.
He's pushed us to be our best and everything. So I see in him, we got really good potential with him, and the bond he brings for the team, the way he's brought us together, and in the short amount of time that he's been here, it's been really good.
I got 2 more questions. These are gonna be pretty funny now. One's gonna be pretty funny, and one's gonna be pretty real serious. We'll start right over here. How intense, when y'all do come together at practice, especially in pads, does it get with these guys? Defense?
Oh, it's something else. Trash talk, everything. It's something else.
Who's the biggest trash talker on the defense?
Titan.
Really?
Yeah.
No doubt.
Him and Brady for sure.
Who's the biggest trash talker on offense?
This guy right here.
These
Really?
two kids right here.
These
swear
two?
to
Yeah.
Out of everybody?
Yes.
All of them.
Not Smiley? He's got
that's
it.
just kind of his personality, though.
Okay.
But yeah,
He
these two
gets
for
compared.
sure.
He gets
So-
chippy.
How in your words, Max? What's it? How intense is it?
It's really intense. We're like every play, we're always going after it. Like, and then, but like after the play, like we're good. Like everything, we're just. But during the play, as soon as that whistle blows, we're after it.
It's game time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the 3 hours out of the day that we have practice and stuff, like, we all absolutely hate each other.
Most definitely.
Like, there's like no doubt that it's like two different teams out there because we're on two different sides of the field. Then when we meet, it's just like it's like a real game. Like when we come back together at the end, it's like we're good, but we hate each other for those 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just competition. I mean, we all love each other in the end. So,
Now we'll close this video down. Each one of you got to do this now. We'll start right over here. Tell me something you like about these two guys sitting to your right, because you're going to go to battle with them. What sticks out about these two guys?
well, I'll start with Damon. I like how he always brings the energy to the table. He always pumps up the offense. He always makes the wide receivers want to be better. But Maddox, I like how hard he goes. I like how hard you run the ball. I like how you attack.
He's a smash
Yeah,
brother.
exactly.
Yeah.
Same
I
question.
mean, Maddox, he's just a bowling ball. He's just gonna he's gonna set the tempo and the tone for like every drive of the game. And Damon, he's getting that energy because he's got all the confidence in the world. He's on top of the mountain over there, so he's gonna get everybody going.
Same question for you guys. Talk about these two guys. What do you respect about them?
Coach Spence, he's one that if he's gonna be there for you in the game, and you need somebody that's gonna be there for you, he's gonna be the one to be there. He's always gonna have your back in the game and everything. And then Taylor, he's real competitive. He's gonna force you to get better playing against him and everything. So it's just
No doubt.
it's gonna make you better.
Yeah, it's kind of what he said with Spencer. Spencer just like he's always got your back, no matter like if you mess up or anything, and that he's always bringing good energy and stuff. And then Taylor, he's not as like loud as Spencer. He's kind of more quiet, but he lets his actions like be his energy, and like he's always like going after it no matter what. Like it can be like any play where he's going after it, and he's always going to try to make you better.
Silent assassin.
Yeah.
Well, guys, good luck to you guys. I appreciate you taking time off, especially after a practice. I know you guys are probably a little fatigued and want to go chill out, but good luck to you guys this season.
So,
Yes, sir.
thank
Thank
you.
you.